Back. In this video, we're going to learn about teams and some of the reasons why you might choose to make use of teams in Ravetree. One of the main reasons is that teams can create their own custom workflow. Now, here we're looking at a list of work items, and each work item has different phases. Now, if a work item is not assigned to a team, it will inherit the default workflow. Okay, so if we click here, you'll see the default workflow has one active phase, completed, halted, and canceled phase each. Pretty straightforward workflow, but you may want to change this, and that's one of the reasons why you would use teams. So let's go look at how you would create teams. Click over here on teams. And before we actually create one, let me show you one that's already been set up. We're going to look at this design team. I'll just click here. And this design team has created their own custom workflow, which is represented by these different columns. Now, unlike the workflow that we looked at on the previous page, the design team's workflow has three different active phases: convert estimate to budget, format CSA, and send CSA to client. They also have one completed phase, halted, and canceled phase. Okay, so this can be completely customized for each team. Now let's go look at how you would actually create a team and set up its workflow. So we'll click back on teams, and then we'll click here to create a new team. Okay, so you give a team a name, my new team, and then this is where you would create the team's workflow. So you click here, and we'll give our workflow a name, my new workflow. And just so you know, a workflow for a team only has to have one active phase and one completed phase. Okay, so let's click here and let's just add a few. Let's say phase 1, phase 2, we'll give this a different color, and maybe we'll just add a phase 3. Okay, and then completed, maybe we'll call it done. And we can add a halted phase. Maybe we'll call this blocked. For some reason you're blocked when a work item is in this phase. And then canceled, well, we'll just call this one canceled. And we'll give it a different color. Okay, so there's our workflow, and we click save. Okay, so there's the workflow for this team. You can also give a team its own color. So let's just pick that color. Board card, this is where you can choose to customize your board card if you want to. Most people leave it at standard. Board type, if you don't know what the difference between these two are, just leave it set to Kanban. But if you run sprints, then you would want to change this to Scrum. This is the work in progress limit. This allows you to say, for example, that only 5 work items can be worked on at any given time. It's just a way for you to kind of limit the amount of work that your team is working on. Auto archive. Now when you mark a work item as complete, you may want to automatically remove them from the team board after a certain amount of time, and that's what this allows you to do. Capacity. This is where you can track the team's capacity, and there's 3 options. You could track it in terms of number of work items. You could use story points if you're taking an agile approach, or you could track it in terms of number of hours. Most people probably use hours. And then team members, this is where you just add the people that you want on your team. You just add as many people as you need, and then click save. And that's pretty much it.